Today we put solar panels on the roof.
First challenge for today, trying to get these to line up. I did make a mistake right here. You just make the same mistake I did. Just totally done. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is going to be all about us installing our solar panel on the roof, and we've gone with the 400 watt setup from Renogy. We're going to be connecting in parallel. There's obviously a lot of debate about parallel versus series, but we've decided to go parallel. I've actually already put two up on there last week, so we kind of have three goals today. Number one, get the solar panel up. Number two, get the housing mounted for the actual cables. And number three, don't get burnt. Because last week, I got a little bit burnt. So since the last time you saw us, we've actually installed part of our vapor barrier. We did need to stop halfway so we could get the cabling in for the solar panels. So once we've done that, we can actually start framing out this van and getting to those fun bits of the build. Okay, full transparency, we're actually mounting our solar panels direct to the roof. We're giving them the gap, which is provided by the metal bracket that Renogy have supplied. We don't have the runners that a lot of the Sprinters have, or the slide-ins to mount these onto. And we looked at getting a roof rack in, and it was going to be about $4,000, which definitely would have blown out the budget on the build. So we've decided to go through the roof. Obviously that's not ideal. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone if you have any other options, but we don't really have any other options. So what we've done is we're going to Sikaflex it from the top so no water gets in. We've put these wood brackets on the bottom so it stays nice and secure and it's not going to blow off the roof at all. And hopefully this will all go under the roofing and there'll be no issues and you won't see any of it. When I talk about brackets, I'm talking about these little brackets here that are supplied by Renogy. Essentially these just go straight onto here. We're going to bolt them in from the bottom, put a bit of Loctite on them so the nut doesn't actually come undone, put the flat washer and the spring, tighten it up, and then we're going to put it on the roof. And we are going to make sure that we leave an air gap underneath the solar panels because they do need that to operate at their top efficiency.
Not a heap of working space up on the roof, so I'm basically playing TA today, passing up the Sika 227 and our brackets and bolts from Renogy.
Okay, so we're up on the roof. You can see the other two solar panels are actually mounted already. I did make a mistake right here and that was a bit close.
There's an adjustment to be made. We've been working with our max air fan in the up position and we realized that in the down position the solar panel is blocking it by about 1 centimeter, which is not going to be the easiest fix, but I'm glad this one isn't screwed in yet. So the back of that panel was screwed in. We have unscrewed it, taken the whole panel off, readjusted it down here, put it back up, re-screwed the back on. We are finally now up to screwing the front of it on. And then after that, might be time to quit. That's panel number 2 back on the roof and the max air fan now closes. Brad is having a bath with some, what is this, methylated spirits? Classy guy. And I think that we just want to shower and a chill.
That's totally done. But luckily it's gonna work. So we're gonna get the other two up here. I've already measured it from the bottom to make this so much quicker so I'm not spending so much time up on the roof here. And hopefully this goes in nice and quickly and then we can get on to actually putting in the actual insertion point for the cables and get it all connected up today. Obviously we're not going to be connected to the battery or anything like that, so we'll just have to make sure we tape off the ends so they don't spark. First challenge for today is trying to get these to line up so that they're actually sitting in the right position. As you can see here, one is actually sitting up and one is sitting flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one over to here. They'll sit flush, there'll still be an air gap underneath and hopefully they'll sit there. Just adjusted those brackets to make them fit actually on the roof here. Now all I need to do is make sure that this distance here is greater than 18 and the front distance should be fine because there isn't as many cross beams underneath on that side. So as long as that's there, we can start putting these in. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole. Jazz will connect it up on the bottom end. I'll get rid of all the shavings that come off on the metal and also we'll put some Sikaflex down in here so that really holds it flat. Got my self-tapping screws here and what's going to happen is I'm going to put a layer of Sikaflex under here. These are going to go through the roof and then into the wood on the other side.
With a whole lot of shouting back and forth to get the position right.
Good. Good.
We have finally started to screw in the solar panels and we've just got these little bits of wood where the screws are going in just so it's got something to grab onto.
Solar panels are up. Now I just need to put in this housing for all the cables. I'm going to mount it probably about there, maybe back here. I just have to check where it's going to sit on the inside. Essentially, we're going to connect up all these cables over here together, run all the cables in through the van, and then seal it all up with Sika so it's nice and watertight. I have just connected up all the positives together. I had to use an extension to get around the MaxxAir fan. Obviously, I'm going to take these down so they don't move, but essentially that's the positive that's going to go into the van once I connect up the bit that comes from underneath. I'll do the same with the negative, and then we'll pretty much have a complete circuit. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to mount this on the roof. We're going to punch two 20mm holes in here so the cables can go through, and then we're essentially going to use the same things that are on here to go into the top of the van, screw them in from the bottom, and then seal it all up with Sikaflex, and it should be all watertight. Don't forget your rust proof. And don't forget to mark your cables as you're putting them in, because with the Renogy set you come with two blacks, so just make sure you match it up with the ones that you've got. So this one's going to be positive. I'm not actually going to plug this in because that would make this whole circuit live, and I don't really want that just yet, but I'm going to write positive on here and positive on the other end, so when we connect it all up it's going to be perfect. Okay, make sure you feed this bit through there to start with, otherwise you'll just make the same mistake I did and not be able to thread the actual connector through the main hole. So now I've done that, I'll get back on the other side, tighten it back up. So what I've done is just slided this bit on the back end of this cable, and this is actually going to go up through the roof. Going to clip in there. I'm going to stick at the top end and screw it all in from the top. So that way we're going to have a really watertight bond here. We're also going to have a watertight bond around the actual housing of it as well. So we're just doubly making sure that we're getting no water in through this entrance here, and this is also going to protect the cable from getting any cuts or anything from the metal. So we've got that there. We're just going to put some Sikaflex down and hold it into place, and then all of that should be watertight, ready for us to connect up when we want to actually connect up the battery as well. And to hold it in place, good old trusty brick. And lastly, all those cables that are up in behind the MaxxAir fan there will end up getting taped in and around so they don't sit on top of the MaxxAir fan and they don't get in the way of anything. I'm just going to leave them like that while it dries and while it's not connected, but that will get fixed up.
That is it, guys. Hopefully next time we can finish off this little bit of vapor barrier and finally get onto framing.